L-L-E-L. That's how
I
I.
learned that in elementary school.
You learned that in elementary school?
Yeah, the
Cool.
2 L's in parallel.
Mm-hmm. And that's the symbol. So that's how
Oh,
I
I never
remember it.
remember. I just knew the 2 L's.
All right, let's see. People at home, I'm going to flip, but I'm going to put the title right here so y'all will be good, okay? All right. Parallel and perpendicular. That was kind of sloppy, sorry. Lines, and this is page 12. Your notebook check is coming up probably next week, so be prepared for that. All right, so you guys do not have to do this first part. I'm doing this first part with you, okay? But I do want y'all to watch what I am doing. Sound good? All right. So you can. Yep, I would. So people at home, again, you are just watching. So it says graph each of the following lines on the same graph. Examine the equation to determine the relationship between the two lines. Which of these lines is going to be easier to graph? The second one. Good. Why, Brooke? This one says y equals. So Brooke says for me to graph this one would be easiest. She is right. People at home, again, you are just watching and participating. You don't need to write this in the notes, okay? I'm just showing you where this stuff comes from. So what's the base of this first line?
+3.
Good. +3 on the
Left side.
y-axis. I'm going to go up to 3 on the y and put a point. Now, what is my slope of this green one? What's the slope?
2/1.
Good. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Remember, if there's nothing there, it's over and understood 1 because 2 divided by 1 is 2. So this is my first line. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, y'all are okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My second line, I'm about to make y'all think I'm super smart. We should know how to solve this for y equals, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So are you guys okay if I go ahead and write what the answer should be?
Mm-hmm.
I do these in my head, Nyla. That's what happens when you teach for too long. 2x minus, okay. And I got that by solving for y, okay? I just don't want to waste y'all's time. So what's the base of this second one?
-4.
-4 on the y, because it says y equals, so there's my point. And what's my slope of this one?
2/1.
It's also 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And I'm going to connect them. So this is what I want us to talk about. Do you guys agree with me that these two lines are parallel?
Yes.
Okay, so just looking at the picture, because it says graphs, what do we know about the picture? What do we know about parallel lines? Good, I like that. That's a good thing. They said they never touch. There's some other observations. What else? These are your observations. Tell me anything. Besides, don't tell me one's green and one's orange, because duh, I use different markers. Okay, lines go on forever. Good. So they never touch, go on forever. I like that. There's one more really important one that I'm looking for.
You have different coordinates?
Oh, okay. I like that. So different bases. That's a good one, Kamari. Good job. There is one more I'm looking for though. Which
Yeah.
way are they both pointing?
To the right. I guess.
They're going up and to the right, right? Both of them. So parallel lines go in the same direction. That is a big one. Questions on our graph observations? No, y'all are good?
Mhm.
All right, this one, let's look at the equations. So come up here and we're going to look at these two equations. What do you guys notice about the equations? Oh, can you say that again? Brooke said they have the same slope. That's perfect. People at home, what else do you see? Kamari, what'd you say last time?
They have different coordinates.
Different bases. So they've got the same slope, but different bases. Do y'all agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think we're going to use today to find parallel lines? Out of all this information, what do you think we're going to use?
The equation. Yeah.
Okay, we'll use the equations. We're also going to use the graphs, but I'm talking more about our observations. What do you think the two most important ones are? Okay, she said different bases. She is right. What do you think the other super important one is?
Same slope.
Good. These two right here. We'll write this down in your notebooks in a minute, but what you guys just helped me discover, and now you've seen it, so you know it's true. Parallel lines will have the same slope and different bases every single time. And you guys just helped me figure that out. So very good. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right. We ready to move on? Again, I'm just showing you where this comes from, and then we'll take our short notes because I feel like most of you are going to be okay with it. All right, equation 1. That's going to be super easy to graph, isn't it? Yeah, it should be. Why is this one easy to graph? I'm going to start with this one. Because it says y equals Nyla. You awake? You writing this down? Okay, so Brooke says this one because it says y equals. She's right. Where's the base?
8.
8. Good. What's my slope?
-2/1.
Perfect. So down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, and I'm going to graph this. Kamari, Brooke can't make fun of me today because my lines aren't janky. I'm doing pretty good. All right, equation of line 2. Before we can graph this, what do we have to solve for? For y. Is everybody with me online? So I'm not going to make y'all do it because that's from Friday. If you need help on that, come to office hours today, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and do it real quick for y'all. So this is going to be x minus 4. So what's the base of the second one?
-4.
Good. And what's my slope?
1/2.
1 over 2. So I'm going to go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Remember, you go up first, and I'm going to graph these. I shouldn't say graph. I'm going to connect them. All right, so while my people in class are still connected, online people, we're going to start making observations. I told you in the title, these are two perpendicular lines. So I don't want you looking at the equations yet. I just want you looking at the graphs. What do you guys notice? What do you observe? What do you see?
They touch.
Oh, I like that. Can I say, are you okay if I say they intersect?
I was about to say that.
Because touching could mean many things. They could cross, they could be on top of each other, that kind of thing. They could barely touch. But if we say intersect, that means they look like this, right? Okay, they intersect. What else do you notice?
They're in different quadrants.
Okay, yes, so they do go in different quadrants. That's good. That won't always happen. So I'm not going to write that down, but that is a good observation for this one. There's one big one. Up here, what'd you say? Yes, extra credit. Good job. Up here, we said they go in the same direction. The green is going to the top left. The right is going, or the orange is going to the right. I can't talk. This one has what kind of slope? The green. Negative. How'd you get negative? You're right.
It's going to the left.
Good. The top points to the left, so that makes it negative. Or you can look at it this way. It's going down if you start at the base. So that's also negative. And where's the orange? What kind of slope does the orange have?
Positive.
Positive.
Positive. So they go, let's write, they go in opposite directions. And then y'all said one is positive, one is negative. Those are the main observations about the graphs. Are we okay with that?
Mhm.
All right, so let's look at our equations now. I don't care about the graphs. I want to look at these two equations. What do you guys notice? What do we see? Huh?
Those equations.
I can't hear you. I know you're saying the right thing. I just can't fully hear it. You are saying the right thing.
Who?
Okay. Brooke said one slope is an integer because it's a whole 2. Does everybody see that?
Mhm.
And what's the other one?
A fraction.
A fraction. That's actually very important. But the part that's important is that one of them is 2 over 1. And what's the other one? What's that called? Say it again. Good. Slopes are reciprocals. That is super important for perpendicular lines. And we're going to talk about why in a minute. The slopes are reciprocals. And there's one other big thing I see about these equations. Look at the slopes. We wrote it up here. Good. One of the slopes is positive and one is negative. Are y'all okay with that? So can I talk to you about why they're always different in reciprocals? Because those are the 2 important things that we're going to write down. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Perpendicular lines, they don't just intersect, they intersect to form what kind of angle? A right angle, which is how many degrees? Good, you're going to do a whole bunch of that in math 2. We don't really deal with angles in math 1. They're all in math 2, okay? So perpendicular lines cross, they intersect to form a right angle or a 90-degree angle, right? The reason it's always 90 degrees is because the slopes are reciprocals. You flip one and that'll turn it 90 degrees. Does that make sense? Now, the reason they're always opposite is because they have to cross. If they're going the same way, are they going to cross? Not at 90 degrees. To go 90 degrees, they got to go opposite directions. Does that make sense? Are we okay with that? All right. So in your notebook, this is what I need you to write. Parallel lines have the same slope and different bases. And we just discovered that by graphing those parallel lines. So y'all should be okay with, okay, that's why it does that, because I showed you an example. What do we know about perpendicular lines now? I'm hoping we're quiet because we're writing. Okay, Brooke is saying the slopes go in opposite directions, so they're opposite slopes, but the slopes also are doing something else.
Intersect.
The lines intersect, not the slopes though. What did we write about the slopes? So there we go. Have opposite reciprocal slopes. Is my Kamari still up here? He is. Kamari, you know I like that old school rap, right? Or Jordan. Jordan knows too.
What you say?
I said, you know I like that old school rap, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see how old y'all are. Y'all are not old at all. Y'all probably not gonna know what I'm talking about. The song, have you heard the song Toot It and Boot It?
No.
That is a nasty song. It's talking about nasty things. But when we find perpendicular lines, we are gonna toot it and boot it. Every time you are finding a perpendicular line, you are gonna flip it by finding the reciprocal, flip it and switch it. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Are y'all sure?
Yes.
All right, perpendicular lines. This literally means, I want you to write this down, flip it and switch it. And just to make sure you understand what I'm saying, what are we flipping and switching? What number? Good. The slope. Because they have opposite reciprocal slopes. So I'm going to flip the slope and I'm going to switch its sign. So if it was positive, the perpendicular one will be negative. If it was negative, the perpendicular one will be, there we go. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Yes. I'm hearing yeses. People at home, I hope y'all are okay because y'all are real quiet. All right. Example 1. Determine if the lines are, what does that symbol mean? Parallel. What does this symbol mean? That's perpendicular. Good, because it looks like a cross, right? Or neither. There are some of these on your homework, so I'm going to do a couple of these in your notes so you feel good, okay? All right. So write all 3 of them down first, and then we'll do each one. Oh, that's not y equals. Hopefully you didn't write that. 4x plus 3y, 2. And C. Oh, I know these children are not hopping off when we're doing the examples for their notes. I'm about to roast them. Because I know exactly who hopped off. Online people, when you have these copied, just let me know so I can get started, okay? Because I can't see y'all. Maybe. They're talking about it. They got to make sure it'll work. Like for my pre-cal class, it won't work because I have 14 one week and 12 the next. So we can't combine. Y'all could definitely combine. Then I'd have 6 of you. That would be awesome. All right, online people, are we ready? No one
Yeah.
talks to me. We're good?
Yeah.
All right, I'm hoping we're okay with number or letter A. What kind of lines are these? Okay. Somebody online.
Parallel.
Good. Why are they parallel? Very good.
They got the same slope
Same slope and different what?
base.
Good. Does everybody see that? The slope is the same. The bases are different. So these are parallel. Easy or hard? Easy. Good. You got one of those on your homework. Sound good? All right. Let's look at the next one. What's tricky about B?
One is in standard form, one's in slope and set form.
Very good. Extra credit, you two. Very good job. One's in standard form, one's in slope intercept. We need to be able to check the slope because how we know the difference between parallel and perpendicular, one has the same slope, one has opposite reciprocal slopes. So we need to look at the slope. So this one, I can see the slope is what? 3/4. I need to find the slope for this one, which means I need to do what? So what are you doing? Why are you moving the X? What's my goal? What do I want to solve for?
The Y.
Good. So for this one, if we solve for Y, I'm going to cover up the Y. How do we move this positive 4X?
Subtract it.
Perfect. Very good. Make sure you're doing this with me. So I'm going to get 3Y equals negative 4X minus 2. And then how do we get the Y by itself?
Divide 3.
Good. Divide 3. Divide every number by 3, right? All right, my baby's at home. What's my slope? Ah, what's the slope?
Negative 4/3.
Thank you, Ashley. And Brooke, I heard you too. I'm just wondering, a lot of you guys that are always quiet and don't answer questions, if you don't understand it, ask me something. But by saying it out loud, you're actually helping your brain remember it. So when I ask y'all a question, I do need you to answer. What do you guys notice about these slopes? They're flipped. One says 3/4, the other says 4/3, and
One is positive, one is negative.
one is positive, one is negative. If they are opposites and they are flipped, what kind of lines are these? Very,
Perpendicular.
very good. Do y'all see how we did that? That is a perfect question. Y'all couldn't hear her, could you? She said, what if they're flipped? So what if they're reciprocals like this? Let me give you an example. So if one slope is 5/2 and the other slope is 2/5, that's what you mean, right? Okay, are they reciprocals? Just watch, you don't have to write this. Are they reciprocals?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes. Are they opposite reciprocals?
No.
No. So are they perpendicular?
No.
They got to be both. They got to be opposite signs and reciprocals. Okay? They are not parallel because are they the same? So this is one where you would write neither. There you go. Very good. All right. I'm not going to do example C because y'all are real quiet. So I'm hoping that means you understand it. Both of these you would have to solve for Y. Does everybody see that?
Yeah.
And if you solve them both for Y, they end up being neither because the slopes are not opposite reciprocals and they're not the same. Okay? All right, so let's step it up. I'm going to move on to example 2. In example 2, we're going to write the equation of the line that goes through somebody's doggy is barking. That goes through 5, 1 and is perpendicular to the line 5x. I know this is a lot to write, so when I'm done, I will give y'all some time.
I got disconnected for like 10 minutes. Could you scroll up a little?
Kamari, you're breaking up. I can't hear what you're saying, babe.
I got disconnected for like 10 minutes, so I missed some of the notes.
That's okay. You can just go back and watch the part you missed later, okay?
All right.
Okay. Somebody at home, let me know when you have all of this so I know I can start. Y'all are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good?
Mhm.
All right, so here's what I'm asking you to do. Write the equation of the perpendicular line. I gave you a point that it goes through, and I gave you the original line that it's going to be perpendicular to. Does everybody see that? There are 2 ways to do this problem. What do you think I'm going to show you? Both ways. No, I'm not going to show you the hardest way, turd. I'm going to show you both ways. You can pick whichever one makes sense to you, okay? The first thing we have to do in a problem like this, to figure out if something's perpendicular, what do we need to know?
The slope.
Good, the slope of that line that we start with, right? So this is the line we're starting with. This is the line I give you. How do we find the slope of this line?
Solve for y.
Solve for y. Very good, Shania and Brooke. Y'all got all the extra credit today. If I'm solving for y, I'm going to cover y. How do I move that 5x?
Subtract 5.
Very good. All right, so now I have 6y equals, it's mx and then b, so I'm going to do negative 5x plus 12. And what do I have left to do? What do I got to do now?
Divide by 6 by everything.
Very good. Divide everything by 6, she said. All right, so my equation is y equals negative 5 over 6x, because I can't reduce that, can I?
Mm-mm.
Plus, but what's 12 divided by 6?
2.
Good. Now listen to me carefully. That is not the answer. That is your original line. That is the original line they gave me. We okay with that? Cam, you okay? So what I need to do is I need to find the perpendicular line to this line. What do we know about perpendicular lines? What do I got to do to the slope?
Reciprocate.
Flip it and
Divide
switch
it.
Like toot it and boot it. You're going to flip it and switch it. Is everybody with me? So what's my original slope? Negative 5 over 6. Flip it. So now it's going to be 6 over 5 and switch the sign. So instead of negative, it's going to be
Positive.
okay. So my perpendicular slope is positive 6 over 5. All right, I'm going to put way 1 over here because I told you there's 2 ways, and I'm going to put way 2 over here. You can do yours more spread out if you have the room. I'm just running out of room. All right, so Shania, way one is the way you said your teacher showed you last year, okay? I
Mhm.
want everybody to look at way one with me. We know our slope and we have a point, don't we? So look, I'm going to use y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to plug in things I know. Do I know a y value?
Yeah.
Yes, what do we know? I'm hearing some second guessing. What do we know? What's the y value they gave me?
1.
1. Look at this point they gave you. Is it 1 to y? You can put 1 in. 1 equals. Do we know what the new slope should be?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the new slope? Why are you guessing?
6/5.
6/5. Silly goose. Yes, 6/5. Silly, silly girl. Do we know an x value?
Yes.
What'd they give me the x was?
5.
5, because we're using this point. And the only thing we don't know is our base. So if we can find that base, can't we write the equation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's review from middle school. What happens to these two 5s right here?
I can't.
They do cancel. Very good. So 1 equals 6 plus b. And how do you get b by itself? How do we move that positive 6?
Subtract it.
Subtract it. So guys, what's 1 minus 6? What kind of 5, Cam?
Negative.
Good, don't y'all miss that. So look, the slope of your perpendicular line is 6/5. The base of your perpendicular line is -5. So guys, what would the equation be?
It will be.
Where are you getting 1? I hope you are not hopping off because none of y'all know how to do this because you ain't answering my questions. What's the slope?
Oh, the slope.
We're trying, okay, I'm going to reword it because, oh, bless. Write the equation of the line. What's our formula for an equation of a line? Thank you. Y equals what? M, what's the M, Cam? 6/5. Mx plus, what's the b? What did we just find the b was? -5. This is your answer. It's looking like a lot of y'all might want to come to office hours. I am not done. Do not hop off. That's your first way of doing it. We found the perpendicular slope and we found the base by solving. Now, how many of you didn't like this? I hated this. Yeah, I didn't like this. This was too much work. Y'all trying to do an easier way? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good. Cameron is. The rest of you can do this hard way. Cameron, let me show you what we can do, girly. You ready? I'm going to
Yeah.
draw a graph. It must be a Cameron thing because both of y'all answered me. All right, I'm going to draw me a graph. Brooke, there's a reason I drew it crooked before you make fun of me. And Cameron, I'm going to keep talking to you if that's okay, babe. What's the point they gave me?
5 and 1.
Good. So I'm going to go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. I'm going to put this point right here at 5, 1. You're going to like this way better. I know you are. I think Nyla actually will too. All right, and I want to talk to my other Cam now. This Cam, what's the slope we found? What's the slope we know it's got to be? Not 2. What's the slope we found? Boy, I'm about to throw something at you. Somebody help him. What's the slope we found?
6/5.
6/5, baby. What we just did was the slope we found, 6/5, because we had to flip it and switch it. So y'all watch. if you do 6 over 5 as your rise over run, do I have room to go up 6 over 5? Don't you say yes, I ain't got no room. There's
No.
none there. So instead of up 6 over 5, what can I do?
Down
Down
6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And which way 5? Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left. If you can't go up and to the right, you go down and to the left. And guys, look what we just found. Here's the perpendicular line. So check this out, Cam. You're going to like this. Both the Cams, since y'all said yes. What's the base of this perpendicular line? The base, honey. I'm going to kill him today. It's out of love. What's the base?
5.
-5.
-5.
Brooke, because it's down at -5. So your equation for this one, the slope is still 6 over 5. X, and what was the base? It was -5. No matter which way you do it, you get 6/5 x minus 5. Are we okay with that? There are 2 of these on your homework. Now listen, none of these problems can be done without work. So you don't turn in any shown work, that's cute. You get in a 0. Do we understand?
Yeah.
You like the first way better? Oh, I'm surprised. Listen, Delta Math homework is only 5 questions, y'all. Don't not do it. Okay? Because you're going to get a big fat 0 because I got to go over it tomorrow. 5 questions. Make sure you show your work.